we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Welcome back, loyal DCPC family. So glad you could be here with us again. It's episode 79, coming to you from Colorado as always. And hold on to your boot aim balls because we got a Cajun man in the studio tonight.
Hold on.
Craig Christopherson is with us. It's going to be rowdy. But I'm going to tell you this, man. If you're looking to get yourself outdoors, if you're looking to meet people, create lifelong memories, friendships, there's only one place to go. And that's Wild Outdoor Adventures, WOAMEET.com.
This is the place where you can go, sign up at no charge, see the activities they have going on at no charge as well, start a blog, talk to people. If you're interested in touring Colorado, see what we have to offer as a beautiful state, or you'd like to, get to know people in the state as well. Like they have Hope for Teens, Hope for Veterans, if you're an entrepreneur. I mean, their website's easy to use, and it's meant to be a place where people can come together before actually trekking the trails.
Yeah, that's what's great about it, man. And the services that they put forth, with WOA, it's a free and easy to use website. You go on there, you sign up for free, you can create a blog, you can see what other people are up to, check out some of these trails these guys have already hit. We obviously know COVID's made it a little bit difficult, but getting outdoors is still going to be there in the future. So get yourself over there, get signed up for free. If you're just passing through Colorado, maybe you're a resident here already, it's a great way to explore the outdoors, hit some backpacking, check out what's going on. It's obviously a popular place to do skiing and backpacking. People love seeing the beauty here in Colorado, and WA is a great way to do it.
And remember, guys, if you have a store, stores that sell outdoor equipment, WA, Wild Outdoor Adventures, they have a partnership program to offer discounts on both ends. Win-win, and helps exposure and collaboration. Everything's better when we get together, and that's less dreaming, more exploring.
Discussion Combustion is also brought to you by Mountain Made CBD, and you're going to head over to mountainmade.life to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD needs.
Absolutely, and they have great products out right now. Build, Boost, Recover, the Puff. They have canine-friendly CBD products as well. Not to mention what's coming up, man. They got the Combat, which I am extremely excited about. This is 25 milligram CBD, immune boosting with vitamins. It's swallowable, blood orange flavor. You got vitamin A, vitamin C, D3, E, and zinc. I'm excited for that one.
Tell you this, man, I might have to give up my daily multi and just start taking that Combat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm going to be ready to combat everything. And that's what Mountain Made's all about, man. They got that hashtag go like hell mentality, getting people ready to rip, tater, chip, taking care of your furry friends, taking care of yourself, build, boost, recover, puff, Combat, and now the advanced recover formula with the chamomile in there as well.
Absolutely.
These guys are constantly innovating, man. It's a lot of fun to see what these guys do in the CBD industry. It's obviously a competitive market, and these guys have some of the best prices.
Absolutely. Check out the Mountain Made Mob as well. A group of talented people that are all working hard within their own arena, and it's all CBD fueled for the active lifestyle. Crystal clear CBD, and they have workouts as well if you need a little inspiration, need to figure out that form. That's going to be mountainmade.life/workouts.
Take advantage of that auto pay, auto ship feature. You guys will receive a discount when you bundle and save. Just like anything, you go in there with your Netflix subscription or anything else that you do monthly. You don't even think about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. Program it. Get your needs set. Save a little bit of money in the meantime. And that's that hashtag go like hell mentality. Go like hell, baby.
We're jumping into this. We got Craig back in the building.
What's up, guys?
Craig, man, thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me for number Tress,
third?
right? Number
Trace?
3?
Yeah, that's that 3-peat. You were with us early, you were with us middle, and now good to get you on YouTube. The folks can see that Cajun, that Ragin Cajun.
Dude, that shirt, bro, is, I don't know, can people see the eyes well through the glasses?
You're looking good, bro.
I'm saying, man, he's killing the color coordination.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Thank you. My wife said I looked good before I left the house this evening, too.
Oh, that's really all that matters, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wife's approval.
I guess her opinion counts.
Yeah, it's
Love
good.
you.
There's nothing like a guy complimenting your beard, though. Like, when I get a beard compliment, it doesn't happen too often.
I don't know, you compliment my beard quite a bit. I mean, there was the twirly beard. There was a lot of things that happened.
Well, I mean, your beard is fantastic, especially because I saw him growing. Like, I've known this guy since I had to buy him beer.
It's a long time.
And he was babyface.
So was Craig, for that matter. We've all known each other a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, your beard looks like someone took a lint roller across a cat and glued it to your face.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Did you see my Halloween get up though? When I shaved into the Joe Exotic, that was atrocious, Craig.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I did the.
He looked good though.
I did the full
did it
get
well.
up. You know.
You're gonna have to send me pictures of that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have social media or anything, so I don't, or Instagram or anything like that, so I don't really see those kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
If you're posting.
I'll show you when we wrap it up here. But I'll tell you this, man, your beard's looking nice.
Thank you. I just had it trimmed down yesterday. I think I like a little bit past 5 o'clock shadow. I call this the 7 o'clock intruder.
Dude, we honestly, before this happened, we were shooting the shit, and we came up with like 5 or 6 different names for this 7 o'clock stalker.
Yeah, we were kind of figuring out.
Shadows.
The pre-show, before we jumped into this thing, and probably should put a little bit of that explicit content warning on there. Shout out to Chris Frazier. We love your support, man. We know you don't like when we use profanity, but there's gonna be a little bit of it tonight.
Did you actually record that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God, have mercy on our souls.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about, though, man. It's about we're hanging out, we're having a couple cold ones. It's a crazy year. And the fact that we can still get together and shoot great content
safely too.
Safely. We're trying to do our part here in the studio. In the Colorado podcast community. Big shout out to House of Pod and everything they're doing.
Oh, House of Pod, we love you guys down there.
You guys are doing a tremendous job. Anyone that's tuning in, that's checking us out for this award ceremony, I just want to thank you guys for including us in this.
We're humbled.
We're really just a podcast about getting together and shooting the breeze with people that are close to us and dear to us. Also, just spreading the message, whatever it's about, whatever you want to do, whatever you do. That's what DCPs is all about. Tonight we got the Cajun man here.
Absolutely. I think you guys are going to win it.
Thanks, man.
I think you nominated for 3 different categories here in Colorado, correct? Mm-hmm. You guys got my vote. You guys are putting together something special. I know you guys have been going at it for a while. When you first got started, I'd be realistic with you, or real with you, to be honest. Or TBH, what kids say now these days.
Is that what that stands for?
TBH?
Yeah,
to be
TBH,
honest.
yeah.
A lot of people at work use that.
I always got to search these acronyms.
When you first got started, you're like, you guys are playing around, kind of just a hobby. Mm-hmm. Not knowing how serious you guys will take it with a weekly show. And now you come to it now, you see all this money spent on this high-tech technology and how serious it's taken, and how the business plan you guys kind of put in place for something that you guys just enjoy on your free time, and see where it is now these days, nominated for 3 different, categories for, Colorado Podcast Awards. It's pretty cool, man. Kind of taken back by you guys put together something special, so it's cool.
It's all about
Thanks,
the people,
Craig.
man. It's not even about Kevin and I. We're just, and that's, you're in it too, man. It's all about the guests. It's all about the people.
Yeah, it's about the community, and that's what's beautiful about podcasting, is being able to connect with people, get your message heard, being able to talk to people, share ideas, especially during this year. I mean, so many people are just locked in the house, and if we're providing a little bit of entertainment, which, the nonsense that we talk about on this show most of the time. I mean, last week was tremendous with Spirit Forest. Love what she does. But it's always fun to just come down and have a couple beers and just hang out. That's really what it is.
Well, you're going to get some nonsense tonight.
Oh, it's always nonsense.
Dude, my fucking, because I picked up Craig, because he's on my way in.
Yeah,
my cheeks were hurting by the time I was pulling in, dude, because we were fucking cracking up in the car and shit.
I said it off air, man. I always laugh the hardest hanging around Craig Christopherson. One of the funniest guys I've ever met, and it's just always a good time. And going back to, we probably told the story in the last time you were on, Craig, how we all met. Being in the apartments.
Oh yeah, and
the Ridge days
and the Mexican cowboy. Yeah, we've
definitely
covered all that.
Yeah. We
covered
that
it
on the last 2 episodes that weren't on YouTube or other video streaming,
audio
platforms.
only. Yes,
right.
So
it's a good story, though.
Yeah,
it's a good story how it all came about, and hanging out with our rowdy friends, man.
Well, can I start it?
Yeah, you can tell the story.
Well, not too far from where we're recording right now.
Probably about a mile and a half.
Exactly. There was men of different ages, of different backgrounds, that didn't even know each other existed.
2008.
Yeah, and the universe had it that these people would end up becoming a family, a bond that would last over decades, a lifetime of friendship.
Did you have this planned pre?
No.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
goodness, man.
That was pretty good,
Thank
man.
you.
Craig, what's your take on that?
Atrocious. That was a terrible story. Thank you for that. You should write a book. No one will buy it.
The memoirs.
I love you.
That nobody heard.
So my take on it is I go a couple months prior to that. So honestly, I met Arthur's brother Eric first, And it's kind of funny how we met. So I got a job at Saltgrass Steakhouse. Basically, the second day I moved here to Colorado from New Orleans.
Great steaks, by the way.
Yeah, great steaks. So it would have been basically the very beginning of November 2017. I got hired my second day moving to Colorado. Met a guy named Steve. I don't remember his last
Did you say
name.
2017? Don't you mean 07?
07, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. 2020, boy, makes you lose track of where you're at now these days. 07, met this guy named Steve. He brought me to this house party on Halloween night where after we hung out at Fanuggi's. We got a couple stories about that place there in Parker, little fun bar we used to hang out with. But brought me to this party at Fanuggi's. It was Halloween. Everyone's dressed up, and he introduced me to his friends, Mindy and Aaron at the time, and they lived right next door to the bar. So I went there, and just so happened I met your brother that night. Well, basically a couple months later, I moved into this apartment complex at Quincy Ridge, and I noticed that your brother, who I met that night of Halloween, lives there. But I rewinded back to Halloween night. So this is how I met your brother. I am completely gone to the wind because I used to drink pretty hard back then, coming from New Orleans, and it was always about just pounding shots until you're basically blacked out. You don't know what your name is anymore or what you're doing, and that's just how I drink. I didn't drink socially. I drank just to get bummed. It's a problem, people. I already know. Don't come at me. I'm getting better. So we go to this party. I'm bombed. Mindy's house, Aaron's house. I'm with Steve. Your brother's there. And then they'd start talking about this shit I'd never heard about before. Called, what's it called? It's not sativa.
Indica?
No.
Salvia.
Salvia.
Oh, yeah.
That shit, yeah.
The weird shit.
People were dying from that.
People
So-
tweak for like 15 seconds.
You shouldn't be smoking it.
Of course not. And if I would have known what would have happened to me just 5 minutes later, I probably would have never done it, but I'm going to tell you the story about it. So it's called Salvia. I had no idea about it. I was bombed out of my mind. I used to be in a band. We talked about that on previous episodes. So I used to be pretty experimental when it came to drugs, right? So they rolled up the salvia or put it in a pipe, I think, and I'm blacked out drunk already. They're like, hit it, hold it in for as long as you can. So I did that. In the garage was your brother, Steve, and other people. We're just sitting on chairs just like this in a garage, cold in October. Nothing really around us except garage stuff. And I held it in as long as possible. Nothing happened. And then about 30 seconds later, I started feeling warm fuzzies all over me. But those warm fuzzies turned into everyone pointing at me, laughing at me, and they became fuzzy themselves. So fuzzy that they looked like Muppets and clowns that were all staring at me and laughing at me, where I start freaking out.
Oh, great.
For about 5 minutes until it wore off. But I remember that being so scary, not a fun experience. But I look back at it now. That is actually when I met your brother.
So that was the introduction. Did he?
Was
he the one that gave it to you?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
but that is my
good.
true introduction to this crowd of people. Is that your brother was the first one I met? Was the Salvia dude, and he introduced me to his little brother and other people in the apartment complex.
I knew you met Eric first. I didn't know that detailed of the story. I don't know if I've ever heard that portion
I don't
of
think
it.
I've heard that either.
But yeah, then the Quincy Ridge rally happens. Here I show up. With a roommate at the time. You guys lived catty corner to me. Craig, you were just down the walkway. So every time I was out drinking beers, I'd see you come home from work, and it truly is one of the best time periods of my life meeting everybody there at Quincy Ridge. It was unreal. I mean, it really changed the game as far as the friendships that I still have today. The experiences that I shared. I didn't go to college, so those were like my college years.
Oh, for sure. And there were so many of us all just holding this one apartment complex down. Like 3 of us worked there. And so it was like dorm life, like we'd like, who's
Big
doing
time.
what? Like every single night someone was doing something.
The beer
like,
pong table didn't even get taken down. It was permanently set up.
if you
We
wanted
had multiple beer pong tournaments for multiple hours, multiple days of the week.
It was too much. I can't do that anymore. I'm too damn old and I'm too damn sick. All right. I've done damage to my body from those years, Craig. That's the reality of it. But again, I mean, lifelong friends. And then, once we relocated, so we basically went from one side of the complex to the other, right? Because you and I ended up down in the south end.
That's right.
And that's when your boys rolled in from New Orleans. Shout out Eric Muller. I know you're watching from New Orleans.
Eric Michael.
Well, that's his
last
middle
name's
name.
Muller.
Oh,
His
is it
middle
Muller?
name's
I
Michael.
didn't know
Eric
he went
Michael
with the
Muller.
Muller.
It's Eric Michael Muller.
Oh, okay. See, I just always knew the boy as
He kind
Eric
of sounds
Michael.
like a porn star. People be so disappointed if they saw his porno, though.
But the fact remains, this man showed up and he
And
took
Tony
he,
and shit.
Took the Tony. We did a little bit of we did some rowdiness
Tony
with
Evans,
him.
a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
Hope
man.
He's doing well. I haven't spoke to those guys in a while. Got mad love for them, though.
Of course,
Dude,
of course.
I remember Eric Michael because you know we would all be pre-gaming and shit and getting ready to go downtown and stuff, or get ready to do something. Yeah, and Eric Michael, he had this southern way of saying downtown. Guys, let's go downtown. Yeah, and downtown is how he said it. And ever since,
It still
I've
sticks with me.
always said I want to say downtown like that, even in the normal sense. Hey, yeah, what you
Downtown.
doing? I'm working downtown.
Yep.
You know,
That's because he used to love downtown. Downtown Denver, he had very good success with the ladies. I don't want to incriminate him by any means, so I won't go too much into detail about those stories. But during those times and day and age, downtown Denver was a good little melting pot and a little smorgasbord of females
of
for
talent.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Talent. And our crew was talented as well. Like we had a good mix, you know. Like if the ladies were like looking for a specific type, like one of those dudes was in our group.
For the most
Because
part.
we had such a wide variety of personalities that like you could find your pick within our squad.
We pretty much had all of it covered. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was no one ever picked you.
I know I'd be like dancing on the dance floor by myself, bumping into people and shit.
And I was just an angry motherfucker back then. Now, y'all remember that, of course. I've calmed down since then. But good memories, man. Good memories. Just great friendships, and those were truly the party years. I was in my early 20s. You know, you guys were a little bit older than me, but man, we threw down.
It was like a transition for me because I came to Denver still rolling on my party years from New Orleans, and it just didn't stop realistically. Yes, I got married and she had kids, and I was kind of playing stepdaddy for a while and all that. You guys kind of know my backstory, but there was never really a true relationship there, and we just kind of spun our wheels for years. Broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together. Pretty much just used me for raising her kids. She's a good person now, but I understand the situation now. Now I met the love of my life. She's phenomenal, and you meet the right person later on in life because once you go through your trials and tribulations and learn about yourself and learn about your likes and dislikes,
Kind of learn what you're willing to put up with in that.
100%, you find something that works for you. And,
Yeah.
and God has blessed me with Jamaica, who's a phenomenal woman. And I'll look right in the camera. She's a phenomenal woman that treats me right and does everything for me. She's just fantastic. So
Yeah,
that's
before,
my
before
before
you, man.
Yeah, before you met her, like Craig was a little bit more rambunctious.
Oh, he's a rowdy man.
And she hopped on that stallion and slowly tamed it.
It was going to take the right woman to calm your ass
But it was a
down.
good thing though, man, because like it's your health is stronger, you look great, you're successful with your job right now, so could you? Was there anything like within you that you were like you had a point in time where you're like, you know what, like I want to do it differently, like where you had enough of like late bills or shitty credit or
Yeah,
like,
32 years of age.
Yeah.
I can track it back to right when I was basically 32. I met Jamaica. God, now I'm talking about my wife again, but it is what it is, right? You asked me the question. So I turned 32 years old, and I met her literally 2 days after. And that was a turning point in my life. And I haven't looked back. So basically, I spent the 32 years of my life wilding out in 2 different states, doing whatever I wanted to do, living with no means, from couch surfing at friends' houses to looking for change underneath cushions. And Kevin, you know about this, to go buy a 6-pack that cost $6.
Lost Lake.
Yeah, Lost Lake, so we could play beer pong. Just living in the moment, having fun every second of the day, with no true end game, no savings, no retirement. Truly just living life with no purpose.
Yeah, just being young, though, really.
Yeah, but I mean, 32 is not young.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, being, you did the band life in your 20s, you rocked out in New Orleans, you came out, we partied hardy, you did try to do a little bit of the, the married life there for a bit and the kids. And then again, going through the party years in Quincy Ridge and when we all met, you still had that end goal in mind. I feel like
I've always wanted to be that person.
You always
for
wanted
sure.
to obtain it more than I think anyone in our group early on.
So obviously, new influences in your life is going to help move you forward. But I mean, you had to have like a thought in your head where you just, because I remember my snapping point was with opiates, with addiction. And like, dude, I got so sick of like never having any money, like almost having my next paycheck spent, and like ducking out on bills. And dude, I just remember doing that for so long, like that repetitive, you know, just constantly, like, and I was selling cars and I was making a lot of money and I was getting high and I was getting high to sell cars and selling cars to get high, and it was just like, dude, it was horrible, bro.
Yeah, it's not good.
And it took a while, and I remember like when I was like starting to just get sick of it, and I wanted more for myself and just to feel better, you know, just being me, you know.
Yeah.
Arthur, don't take offense to this, bro, but you're asking me about when is my turning point. Well, I can reflect back to when I was 32, but it's also witnessing my friends become deadbeats and making terrible choices that helped me push through my troubled past to become what I am today and what I will become later in the future.
Yeah.
Seeing you guys struggle with those addictions and paycheck to paycheck and living life without a purpose and just in the moment living needs to be left in the moment. And I realized that like I'm not going to have a future if I continue to live that way. So
Yeah.
you guys helped me through that as well.
And dude, no offense taken, because honestly, I agree, man. Because it's like I remember having those conversations with you where you're like, you know, like I'm at a point in my life where I want to move forward. I want to be a better me. I want to be the best me. And that means I'm going to have to cut ties with some people.
I've said that multiple times.
You know, and that's true. And you know, the close circle that you keep, man, that's it speaks a lot about who you're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main reason. I mean, going back to when I was young and I met you guys, I was always determined to be on my own and try to succeed and pay my bills on my own way and stuff like that. However, I did fall into a very slippery slope of partying, and I never missed a day of work, though. I will say that. Of all the years,
You never missed a day of work ever?
not because of partying.
Okay.
Not because of bad decisions that I made. You know, of course, there's been things that have happened along the way, but you know, I haven't done everything right. You know, I fucked up a lot along the way, made some bad financial decisions, got myself in some bad situation, but that's life. That's how you learn. You know, that's how we get to where we're at now and tell these great stories. But I'm still a firm believer in what I have tattooed on my left arm, and that's beyond blood. Friends and family make you the richest man. I truly believe that. You know, whether it's blood or not, beyond blood. The people you surround yourself with is some of the most important people you can have in this lifetime. You know, they teach you things. You can learn from them. You bounce ideas off of. They support you. They pick you up when you're down, you know. People you can share experiences with. And for me, this year especially, it has really reminded me how fortunate and thankful I am to have great people like you guys in my life.
I love you guys to death. We're best friends. We're talking about Eric Michael Moeller. I'll just call him Eric. That's what I call him my whole life.
We've always called him
Good
Eric Michael,
friends,
but yeah.
Tony,
Great
Ash,
guys.
Matt, Daniel, Kyler, Josh. Like, I got friends all past from. They're like my best buddies, right? But you were saying 2020 and the COVID lockdown, all that's, you know, made you realize a lot of things. I've almost kind of taken a different route to it. It's almost made me more reclusive, and I can almost stay that way and kind of like it that way. I don't know. I don't like the way it makes me feel, but I've become comfortable with being reclusive, and I feel like I can move away and be away from everybody, unless, you know, except for my wife, and, you know, and be fine. Don't take offense to that, but like, it's made me realize I'm very solo in my life. I don't know about you guys.
Well, and it's kind of backpedaling off what you were saying about, you know, how you've kind of gotten away from the old party, the old Wild Craig band days. You know, you're a married man now. You know, you're settling down. It makes sense, and I think it's when you can be reclused and get comfortable being unassociated with the party scene and socializing. That's when it becomes pretty powerful too, because now you control your own destiny and happiness. You don't need to rely on anybody else. You know, you got your wife, you got yourself, and if that's all you need, that's terrific.
And realistically, you know, I used to be very close with my mom and dad, and I still am. I'm very close to my mom and dad. Like, best people in my life, you know, be devastated they leave this earth. You know, they've done so many great things for me in my life and so many blessings, and, you know, given me great direction and everything. But, you know, it's also made me to the point where, like, you know, if I moved away from my family, all I need is really me and my wife, and kind of just set my own tone, my own path. Don't ride anyone else's coattails, because they moved to Colorado And I ended up following their suit 2.5 years later. So realistically, my pursuit of Colorado and moving here was on my parents' coattails. It kind of resonates in me and starts a fire within me that I kind of want to do something else now.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can also respect that because my story is very similar. I came to Colorado because of my parents, and my parents are my biggest supporters. I love it. I love the family that I have and the support that they show me. I'm very fortunate to have grown up that way.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. But at the same time, I know what you're saying. I left the nest kind of young. I was out on my own, supporting myself right after 18 years old. It was the best thing I ever did, I feel like. I learned how to buck up and get it done early. Like I said, I fucked up a lot along the way and did stupid shit, but I always made it to work. I can proudly say that.
You held your own. For being an 18-year-old young man, living on his own for the first time, and then, granted, we weren't much older. We might have been on our second or first house ourselves, or living on our own as well. But, like, you were hanging out with guys that were 3-4 years plus older than you. I mean, you held your own. Guys that could buy alcohol, post you not being able to buy alcohol, makes sense why you hung out with us, you little leech.
I mean, he had booze when I met him though, and and he was, then I started buying it.
Yep.
Who were you getting it from before?
Well, my roommate at the time that I was
Okay.
living with, I won't say his name just because I don't want to blow him up, obviously, but he would buy a lot of the beer. He was like 22 at the time. I think I was 19.
Okay.
So yeah, there was ways. Sure, underage drinking took place, but man, it's fun to look back on.
But I agree, man. So I mean, you shouldn't have to, or let me rephrase this. You should be able to depend on yourself to find inner happiness. Like it's up to you. Like if you can't just sit there in the room by yourself and find happiness within your own life and who you are, and you need to reach out. I mean, sure, extroverts, and I'm extroverted too. I love getting around my people. They make me feel full and energized. But like when I'm walking by myself, or I'm like just alone sometimes, like I get happy just being me. And it's taken me a long time to get there, to where I don't need anybody else to feel happy. I'm just happy.
My therapy now in these days, and we might have talked about this in the past episode, but I've gotten more into it and I'm getting better at it, and I practice it and do it more often. Solo running. My headphones in, no matter what time of day it is, but there's just something about that connection that you have with yourself and the outside world when you're not being bothered by anybody else, except your own thoughts, that you are able to process them, put it out there, and then just keep going and push yourself to a limit that you've never been pushed before. Like, it's therapy to me. I've been doing it almost daily. I feel better. I've gotten better and better every day with my speed, my distance,
Stamina.
and I'm not even trying to do it to be competitive or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just every day I feel like I can do more. So I push to do a little bit more the next day, and I feel better. So I push a little bit more next day, then I do even better. And the other day I was running, and it was just became nighttime, and I'd run along the Cherry Creek Trail because I just moved to Glendale area, and it's on the Cherry Creek Trail. And there's a little park called, I think it's a historic 4-mile park or something like that. And right now it's, completely lit up and decorated for the season, for Christmas and everything. So it was dark. It's probably about 5:30 or so. It's completely lit up, and I'm running, and I got a slow jog pace going. I'm just looking at it while I'm still running, and I got a song that's really resonating with me playing at the same time, and that connection right there that I had in that moment was probably the best that I felt in a very long time as a human being. Didn't involve my wife, didn't involve my mom, didn't involve my friends. It was me being one in the moment.
Or substance. It was just
so
running,
great. And
running
that
and music.
is the perfect high to me.
Yeah.
That is the replacement for everything else, and I just enjoy it, man.
That's a beautiful story.
That is. It's difficult to find those kind of things where you can feel completely euphoric and enlightened by something that you're completely doing, unanimously on your own. No drugs, alcohol involved. As I'm swinging a beer in my hand.
You know that runner's high was kicking in though when you
the
started,
runner's high.
Yeah, you started feeling that.
Tell you
I
this,
love
though,
the runner's
man.
high. I love to
Yeah.
put it in a pipe and smoke it.
Running for me, just for one, I wear boots. The cowboy boots make it a little bit difficult. If I put the proper footing on, I could probably do running. But I just haven't been that physically active, Craig. I haven't been working out. I did it for a little bit, and I enjoyed it a few years ago. I got into lifting and shit. But now, my escape is being here every Wednesday.
Well, that makes a ton of sense.
Getting away from the hustle and bustle of the grocery business that I'm in, that it just wears me out, man. And I know a lot of guys are working at home, guys and gals, so it's not everyone's as fortunate as I am to do that. So I also keep that in consideration, that I'm able to get out and move and I have a physical job. But for me, that finding sense of peace and doing something you love is right here. It's right here, man. This is it. This is my therapy.
Yeah, it's okay. So you described the running. You described kind of. It's like, so what? Everybody's gonna have their own thing. Where that makes them feel full. Like maybe it's completing an art piece that you painted. Maybe it's doing the paint art where you do, or graffiti, or like loving your animal or something like that. But it's just important to, I mean, it's cliche, you can't take care of anybody else until you can take care of yourself, blah. But like, it's so true. Like,
it's very true.
So like, I don't know. I guess that's my believe and achieve for the week. I'm getting it out early is, believe and achieve yourself, believe in yourself, find ways to create goals for yourself, because if you're building from within, then like, dude, you're unstoppable, man. Like if you take your bricks from elsewhere and build from elsewhere, then you're waiting on that supply to keep building. But if you build from within, then you have all the inventory.
Well, that's the only way. That's the only way that you're going to get it done, 100%. Goals will never manifest unless you put them out there, right? That's why everyone's always say put them on paper, speak them out loud, tell them to other individuals. That's the only way that you achieve those. But you have to put them into existence first.
You listen to motivational videos
Daily.
every morning.
Daily,
right?
While I'm driving to work. So I'm one of those people that you were just talking about, Kevin, that you go into the grocery stores, do your job at the grocery stores. So I still have interaction with people daily that decide to come into the office. So basically, not the right title, but I'm kind of like the office manager, director right now when my main boss doesn't come into the office, and I kind of oversee day-to-day operations. I don't oversee all the departments. I'm a sales director, but I'm in the office every day, first one in, open it up, turn the lights on, get my coffee, get my water. Same routine daily. This is after I actually go to the gym every single morning. Wake up at 5:15. My gym's right off of 16th Street. My office is right off of basically 17th in California and Welton area. I park my car, put my headphones in, walk to Planet Fitness, work out for 30 to 45 minutes, go back to office, open it up. And that's my routine every day. And then people start trickling in. I get to be cordial and have conversation daily with individuals in person. It just kind of sets the tone for the day for me. Other people can work from home. Arthur's one of those people that have chosen to work from home. I don't think it's necessarily by choice, but I think Arthur's actually more COVID conscious than I am. I'm not saying I don't believe in it, but I've been basically the last one to leave the office before they went lockdown and the first one back. I've never had a scare. I wear my mask. I hand sanitize. I ride into the office alone in my own car. And it's just the way I like to go about my day. So being in the office is a good thing.
It's nice to get out of the house though too, man, because when you're just when you're working, like I have to, like I usually take like a couple 10-minute walks throughout the day and like check all the messages so I can respond immediately if something's happening. But just those little moments, because if you're working from home, you get off work and you're still home. And so if you never take the opportunity to leave, even if it's just for 10 minutes, I mean, it's important to get out of the house is what I'm saying. If you're working from home, you have to leave the house for a little bit.
Yeah, I would be able to, I don't do well. I mean, once the weekend's over, I'm like, fuck, I got to get back out of this house. I'm just so used to moving. I don't let the grass grow too long in my feet. But one thing I haven't done, Craig, during COVID is go to a gym. So what does that look like when you're working out with the mask on?
Like a moron? You look like a moron.
Well, I mean, okay.
Working out with a mask on. First off, you're hindering my breathing. I'm trying to inhale and exhale deeply because I work out, but I'm still not in great shape. So I'm getting there, but so it's difficult. You're still going to run into your same stuff that you dealt with before. Girls going in there way too tight, yoga pants, Lululemons, literally just on the stair stepper for 45 minutes. Look at me, my ass is tight kind of stuff still. And men over there just curling dumb bars the whole time, just trying to get their
dumb bars?
Dumbbells, sorry. Dumb bar. They look like dumb-dumbs. But I'll never knock anyone's hustle trying to get in better shape.
Yeah, building biceps.
So regardless, for me, it looks the same every day because I'm in there at 6 a.m. right when they open.
Yeah.
Downtown, it's not overpopulated right now because a lot of people are still working from home. So realistically, we went into this code red situation. If outside listeners, if you don't know, Denver's kind of on a code red, so we're supposed to be at like 10% capacity or so at gyms. Well, it's always kind of been at 10% capacity for me the whole entire time since I joined this gym. So realistically, I go in and there's maybe 7 to 8 other people in the gym while I'm there.
Yeah.
I never have
That's
to
it?
wait on a machine.
That's nice.
Everyone's cleaning. Everyone's conscious of cleaning,
Wiping down all the
materials and
shit.
equipment after they're done wiping things down. I know it's an airborne virus, so realistically wiping down everything, it's not really going to save you from COVID, but you do have your mask on. You're basically hyperventilating in a mask because you're pumping iron and doing cardio, which can get a little difficult. To be honest, I'm over there running on these paths and I see people running or biking with masks on. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I feel like if anything, lifting iron, like pumping iron, you can have a mask on. It's not that hard on cardio. You're just kind of getting a good pump and a good blood flow, right? But cardio with a mask on, that's a different story. I don't know how people are doing that. So I do all my cardio without a mask. That's why I run outside of gyms and run on trails. I do no cardio at the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense. I can't, I wear a mask all day, 8 to 10 hours doing physical labor in the stores, and that's enough to get me, I struggle to breathe at times, sweating, you start to smell my own boogers in there. It's just not pleasant.
What do boogers smell like? Because if they're in your nose already, how do you know what they smell like?
Have you ever been in that situation where, because I'm a drooler at night, so, I have a lot of drool that like dries up on my face when I wake up in the
Yeah,
morning.
it looks like you were breastfeeding.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe sucking on some titty milk. But what I don't know if you've ever caught in a whiff of like what your drool smells like, or maybe
It's terrible. I drool nightly.
That's what it smells like in the mask, and it's not pleasant.
So the mask smells like drool.
Because here's the thing:
Yeah,
when you have
no,
a
I can
mask on
see
for
that.
8 hours, you're inadvertently going to start touching your nose. So so boogers and saliva get in there, and then now I'm starting to smell this thing. And I do wash my mask regularly. I'm not saying that, but by the end of the day, you're starting to get whiffs of things that are extremely
Yeah,
unpleasant.
it smells like plaque. And
Plaque?
Yeah, like tooth plaque.
What does
like
that
plaque
smell
on
like?
your teeth.
Yeah, you're that kind of
Wait a
weird
minute.
motherfucker that scratches his teeth and probably smells it in his fingernail.
Well, I may trim my big toe and see if the cheese is ripe.
Oh my god!
Bro, I am guilty of that too. That's one of my things, and I don't try to do it, but I think
you're
I've been
just
doing
curious.
it.
You
when
guys
I'm
are
a
out
kid.
of control.
You're just
Like
curious.
when you pick at your toenail and you can't help but like smell your.
I
fingers,
gotta
like,
wash my hands when I'm done.
Smells a little cheesy. Of course you wash your hands. You're not like going to eat finger foods right after, but
No, you're
But
right.
guys, I had a story about smells.
All right.
So one thing with me is I'm kind of I got hair, and I have very hairy nostril. Like a lot of times I try to keep it clean and keep the stragglers out, and so like smell. I feel like particles or molecules, whatever it is, can get attached to that hair. And sometimes it's difficult to get it off. Like, so if like I'm around like some really stinky trash or something like that I should have taken out a while ago, and I'm like taking it out now, and like sometimes those will get stuck on my nose hairs, I feel like, and then I will smell that rancid smell like off and on for the rest of the day, and I'll try to blow my nose. I haven't like cleaned it out with water or stuff, but I probably should like sniff the water and then get it out. But have you guys ever had that where like it gets a smell gets stuck in your nose all day?
no, I don't try to drown myself because I have a bad smell in my. You sniffing water?
Well, no, you get some when you kind of and then you get it out.
It's ever taken that extreme.
I don't sniff
What?
water, bro. I'm not trying to drown myself from molecules getting stuck on my nose hairs. Do molecules actually get stuck on nose hairs?
Oh, I think so.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, because the smell starts driving you crazy. You're like
Yeah.
just going through your day and you keep smelling this. You're like, what the is this?
I'll tell you this, man. When I was growing up, I was young, and my brother, he I'm not going to call it any names here, but he had a friend. Now, he was a nice man, and he had really bad feet. His feet would stink. And I still remember to this day that after he would leave the house, Mom would have the stench in her nose, of this man's feet. This man would come over and hang out with us, and he was a nice person, but his feet smelled really bad. And so to backpedal off what you're saying, yeah, Mom, she would be like, "Oof, I'm gonna have to trim my nose hairs because that man's feet is that bad." So I have heard that before.
Well, I never met your mom, and she sounds like a sweet person. But I hope all moms trim their nose hair.
Yeah, Mom
Hey,
doesn't have
mom,
a hairy
was that a
nose.
Fu Manchu out your nostrils?
Fu Manchu?
Mom doesn't have hairy nostrils as far as I know, but I think it was more of a, this is the situation.
Could you imagine? You damn foot smell is stuck in my armpit hair.
Oh, your foot smell is stuck. Okay, so I have 2 pairs of shoes, and for some reason, only these 2 pairs of shoes like stink, bro. Like I don't know what it is about them, and so
These?
bad. Yeah, this is one of the pairs.
That's one of them.
This is and honestly, no, my girl got
I won't
me.
call out the brand, but
Well, no, but they're
got a
two.
swoosh on it.
But they're two completely different brands too.
Okay.
So they're not the same make, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some of the fabric in there. But I got this this like little bottle of like foot gone stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
it works super well.
there was
Super pepperminty.
just a product on Shark Tank I saw that
I
is supposed to
never
combat
want
that.
my foot to smell like peppermint
Well, dude, it like without that stuff.
Why not, Craig?
because I might eat them.
So when I was working in the office, poor Jordan, who sat across from me, I don't mind embarrassing myself. There would be a couple times where like, you know, that back door, it would create a draft, not the main door, but the back door. Someone would walk out there and like create a draft, and he'd be like, "Dude, what is that smell?" He would like say that occasionally, and I would just sit there and keep working, and like I can't be like, "Yo, it's my feet, dog."
It's
I'm
like
sorry.
Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. It was me.
I love that movie, man. That's one of my favorite movies.
But basically, Jordan announcing that is what I was like, dude, I gotta get this shit under control, bro.
You got them stinky feet.
But it's only 2 pairs of shoes. It's
Dude,
weird.
I take pride in my smell. I deodorize. I bathe daily. Brush twice. Floss. I do everything like put cologne on. I use scented like body washes, scented, you know, shampoo, everything. So I take pride in that. I've been told multiple times, male or female,
You're a little metro.
tell me that
beat me
I'm a
to it,
good
Craig.
smelling person.
Well, let's just put it this way. I think you're a nice man who's a metrosexual.
That's okay.
Metro? It's
Yeah.
like, so like into
But-
like Sex in the
No,
City?
no.
You got that play on words?
You are. But I think that's a good quality to have, Craig. There's nothing wrong with that.
My wife
A
says I'm
well-kept
pretty.
man.
You're pretty.
But she
Not
also told
handsome.
me when she first met me, I love you, sweetheart, but I'm some dirty laundry here, and it's not really a bad thing.
Air it out, baby.
She's like, I think you're cute, but I think you're like, I'm not. This is not verbatim, by the way. She's like, but you know what makes you pretty attractive? She's like, you're a little bit ghetto. That must be the Nola in me, you know.
Well, I was gonna say because what I've learned from that southern, you know, them Ragin Cajuns, you know, them crawfish individuals, is
Crawfish Nation.
Craw Nation, you know, is you guys, man, are some of the most hospitable people I've ever met, most honest people, most fun, you know, shoot it straight. But I can see, because I thought that when I first started getting into Theo Vaughn, I was like, man, he's kind of got like that ghetto thing to him. Theo Vaughn's my favorite guy in the podcasting business. I love you, Theo. And I've met him, and he was literally the nicest guy I've ever met.
But Theo's North Shore. He's north.
Covington.
He's Covington. He's north of the lake. That's not really ghetto. So he just got that swagger about him. It's like you have to actually spend some time and live it in NOLA, in New Orleans, to kind of get that situation, you know, which
the
I have.
razzle-dazzle.
And I don't know Theo's backstory, so he may have spent a lot of time in New Orleans,
Sure.
you know, or traveled there often. But it really comes from the actual city of New Orleans, getting that real, you know.
Yeah, but see, Craig, you're not one of those guys that has like your parish tattooed on your eyeballs or anything like that. You know, some of you NOLA folks get wild.
I'm from St. Charles Parish. Could you imagine I got St. Charles across my eyelids? Is he religious or is he dumb as fuck?
So
Both.
What
No.
was it that made your wife think you were ghetto? Like, what was it?
I don't know. It was the first time I met her. I showed up wearing a 3-piece suit, vest and everything, tie, but I had a chain on.
Did you really?
Chain on over my suit.
Over
and
the tie?
And a Saints hat backwards. A fitted New Era Saints ball cap. And I took her to Cuba restaurant for some nice cocktails.
And you're like, I'm going to dress up real nice, but I'm going to give it a little flair. Why don't you pop that chain and let us
You
see
want
that?
to about that chain? That chain is real nice, bro. This is 24 karat fool's gold. I got this for like $10, but I just needed something that you know.
Matches the watch.
No, that watch is that's not fake. That's real nice. Got that in Turks and Caicos, one of the greatest vacations I've ever been on. That's another story. We could get into it later. Who knows? But anywho, yeah, I went in there with the backwards hat, New Era hat, Saints, 3-piece suits, chain popping outside the suit, and you know, you guys can tell, you know, once we start having a few of these, just like I did on that first date with her, having some Caprianas and mojitos, some actual true spirits that were made well, I started getting a little loose. And when I get a little loose,
The tongue started flipping.
I get that draw. And when I get that draw,
So this was early on. She's like, "Oh, you got a little bit ghetto in you."
oh, yeah.
Does she
said-
still say that now?
No. Now she says I got a little bit of idiot in me.
Well, we all know that.
Yeah, I've known you for 10 years, and she's right.
Yeah.
But it's fun being stupid, you know, especially if you're confident about it. You don't care that people look at you like you're dumb. You know, you just have fun with it. That's where the twinkle in the eye comes from.
I agree. My wife tells me all the time I'm extremely entertaining. You know, you're a different person when you're behind closed doors. When you're truly yourself, and I am 100% myself around my wife. I don't hold anything back. I think I can get dumber when I'm around my friends because we're just on that dumber level. And my wife I have on such a high pedestal because she's very intelligent. She reads all the time. She's very organized. She's just a well put together individual. How she felt for someone like me, fucking swamp rat from, you know.
It was the project. Women love a good fixin'. A good fixer-upper.
Yeah, you know, that makes a ton of sense. But, I mean, we are polar opposites, you know. If she was North Pole, I am South Pole. Makes sense. I'm from the South. She's North Pole. I'm the South Pole. And, I mean, we couldn't be more repulsive towards repellent. That's the word I'm looking for towards each other. But somehow it works.
Yeah.
Like, she's a smart individual that's so organized. And she can, you know, what's the word? Articulate things way better than me. Put things on paper way better than me, plan way better than me. Everything she does is way better than me. The only thing I really bring to the table is like, here's a paycheck and a roof over your head. Let's enjoy life. That's really all I bring to the table. I'm trying to contribute more, I guess.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't downplay
Come on,
that,
you
though,
bring
either,
the
though,
smiles.
Craig.
You
Yeah.
bring some smiles.
Obviously,
It's a good time. She has fun with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you don't want to downplay that, right? Because you obviously, you know, you step up to the plate. You know, you're a loyal individual. You shoot it straight. You know, you're fun to be around. You're a good man. That's why she fell in love with you.
Well, she would tell you 100% she knows I'm a good man. And I think that's why she felt I'm a good ghetto man.
You're a good man with a bad history.
But that
Yeah.
makes for a great story.
With a better future, though.
With a better seat, and there you go.
And honestly, like until you gotten dragged a little bit and you got some dirt thrown on you, like you're never going to be as good as you could have been if you didn't have that tribulation or that trial, you know? Like personally speaking from my own experience, I would not be as good as a person as I am nowadays if I didn't do all the dumb things I did and like, wow, Arthur, you're being really stupid, or that was kind of selfish, or like, you know, why would I say something like, you know, and you know, chopping myself down to build myself up better, you know? You got to go through the hard times to become a better person.
I feel like I've had so many of those lectures with you, and I wouldn't call them lectures. I would just call them like just talks.
It's because I'll be venting to you about stuff.
You vent to me,
and you're like an older brother to me.
yeah.
Man,
You've
for
always
sure.
said that. Like I have like an older brother, like family perspective when you talk to me or vent to me, and I always give it to you real.
Yeah, and
But-
that's why
I'll give it to
that's
you
why I
real
tell
right
you.
now. And I'm not putting you on blast on camera or over microphone right now, but you're to be the first. Like that makes a lot of sense, and then you take no advice that was given.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Even Kevin's like,
Well, I know specifically what you could be talking about, and until someone's, you know, everyone has to take that step on their own, you know, and they can hear the right advice 1,000 times, but sometimes it just doesn't resonate until, you know, like what I was talking about, until I had enough, until you have enough of a certain pattern in your life, you know.
Yeah, and I think that the main reason why we're all still sitting around this table 12 years later from when we met each other is one simple thing, and that's respect. Is that everybody,
Ton of it.
Everybody respects each other no matter what they're going through, no matter what the situation is, there's respect involved. And that goes a long way. Because when respect is lost, things get shaky. You know?
That's true.
And you guys are some of the most loyal people and genuine people that I've ever been around. You know, I love you guys. And again, going back to what I said earlier, I'm very fortunate to have that in my life. It's something I don't take for granted, you know, because not everybody's as fortunate to have guys around you, gals and girls that have this connection that we have. It's tremendous.
It's beyond blood.
Beyond blood, man.
I like to use the saying. I say this a lot, and I'm not talking about a specific individual. I was like, I respect that person, but they're dumb.
Sure.
I've never lost respect for anybody, but I could think someone's stupid with the choices they make, or just the reoccurring cycle that they live in. I can think someone's stupid.
Absolutely.
I'm very judgmental of people. It's a problem.
It's easy to do.
We call that a Christopherson gene that runs in my family. Like, you know, my Paul Rand, who's my uncle, even my brother, a lot of the older men that, you know, like once you actually, you know, grow into yourself and becoming like an older adult, all of us think everyone's stupid. We're so judgmental. I think everyone's dumb.
But see, but that's one of the things I've always respected about you, Craig, is even when I'm doing stupid shit, you've always been the first to say, I don't agree with that. You're a fucking idiot.
Oh,
you know,
I'm not loose-lipped when it comes to that.
You shoot it straight. And I think that we've, as a society in general, a lot of people have gotten away from that because they're so afraid of jeopardizing friendships and relationships and not meeting society's standards.
Yeah, and your friends should be the ones that are the
Shoot
most
it straight.
critical with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something to be valued, you know, rather than frowned upon. Because a lot of people are like, oh, he's just judgmental. No, he's shooting it straight because this guy actually cares about me as a person, and he's offering his opinion, you know, and I'm going to respect that, of course.
You know, I always talk about this kind of shit too. It's like, and I think we've talked about this before. I might have also talked about it with another friend just in person, not on the podcast before, but I will never chime in or give my opinion or like my backstory about something if I'm actually not informed about an actual subject. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when someone tries to chime in and they're literally just using news that they found from the internet or something they read and they have no idea what the fuck they're truly talking about. They just believe everything they read. Like, I don't speak about things I'm not informed of. So if I actually chime in and speak about something, it's typically from a life or past experience that I've lived through myself where I will speak with conviction about something because I know it to be true. Not necessarily for everyone's circumstances, but my past circumstances. Arthur can even, you know, vouch for this. He's told me even when we were hanging out at a park throwing frisbee one day, we were talking about something. He's like, Craig, one thing I can say is everything that you said that was going to happen to me, that happened to you at a certain age, has come true. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna stroke. I'll stroke his ego a little bit, and he's not right about everything, but he has had some great advice, and he's told me like, look, this is what happened to me. This is the circumstance I was in. This is how it played out. And, you know, like, you can't really defeat the truth of the past, you know, but what you can do is you can accept the truth of the past and you know, learn from that. So then hopefully you're not making the same mistakes. Hopefully you're breaking the pattern of unhealthy habits, because, you know, there's nothing more important than being critical about yourself. You know, and friends like you and Matt and all my friends who have always told me the truth, even if it was hard for me to hear, man, like those are the people that, you know, that I hold the most dearest. And I'm you know, I'm getting a little like emotional about this because I mean this shit, man, but it's like, it's so important, you know. You need to hear people's opinions that are hard to hear. Like that's an important part of life, is to listen to that. And to take it to heart, because maybe you're not brave enough to say it or think it yourself, you know. And if you have a friend or a peer or family member that's willing to tell you something that's hard to hear, they care about you, like you were saying, man.
Of course. You know I love you.
Oh, dude, I love all you guys, man. Craig, give me one of those too, man.
Jesus, man. I mean, I got love for you. I just didn't know you were such a little bitch.
You dog. You knew that. See, it's always, I don't even look at it like, you know, and you don't look at it like that either. It's being emotional. This is the modern man. I've said this in the past. Like, the modern man is allowed to cry when they or feel emotional. You know, that's the modern man, bro. This is the manliest shit.
Don't get it twisted. So I watch shows like This Is Us and some like heartstring pulling shit, and I suffer from what they call chronic loose tear duct. It's a real thing. Look it up. You won't find it.
No, it isn't.
And I cry at the drop of a dime about
That's how I am.
anything that is sensitive. I think I got it from my mama or my Aunt T or my
got it from
nanny.
my mom.
Because I was pretty much raised majorly by women until my stepfather, you know, stepped in, and I call him dad. It's a phenomenal human being.
his
with
name
great
is?
stories. Vicente. He's from
yeah.
Nicaragua. From a
Yeah.
third world country, his views and perspectives on life are different than a lot of, you know, people's.
He's
And
an
his
amazing
stories
man, great
his story is
energy.
incredible.
Yeah, I met him.
He's a great person to be raised by, and lucky enough to, you know, call father. So, not taking anything away from my biological father. God bless his soul. He's a great human being as well. But we just weren't that close because our circumstances were different, you know. But it is what it is. So, Yeah, I cry all the time.
Chronic tear duct disorder.
I'm the same way though. See, like I won't cry in scenarios like this, you know. But when I'm behind closed doors and I'm watching a program, like I watched the Office finale last night.
You cried from the Office finale?
Yeah,
I never even seen it.
I did, man, because it was like you're invested in these, you know, and you're emotionally invested in these characters, and you're seeing the development as because you remember how the finale is, you know, when they're on the panel and they're going back and they're like, man, you know, Phyllis is like, I worked for a paper company for 12 years and never wrote anything down. I'm glad I have this documentary to fall back on. I'm like, you know, it starts to pull on my heartstrings.
Yeah.
So I'll cry to shit like that, you know, and that's my opportunity to get it out because as men, we're so taught to push it down, act like a man, deny your feelings, act like you have answers. And I do that a lot, but you know, life gets overwhelming at times and we got to get it out. You know, we got to get it out. It's okay.
It is.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's necessity to me.
I think there should be a crying room for men. Bill Burr said it best.
Is that a real thing? Bill Burr said that there should be a crying room
There needs
for
to be
men?
a crying room for men because we are so programmed to you're a pussy, you know, push it down. You know, there's a reason that the suicide rate is higher in men than it is women.
No, I mean, Jesus, I mean, you're seems like you're very close to committing suicide right now. I can smell your estrogen levels right now.
Well, wouldn't he be less closer to suicide if he was emitting the estrogen levels?
I'm talking about just his admittance of crying to the office right now. I smell his estrogen levels.
Oh.
Yeah, they're a little bit higher
Yes,
right now.
I am not talking shit about women. Sorry, I love women.
Well, of course, we all do. I love everybody, really.
Yes.
You know, whoever you are.
Wow, women. Wow, women.
The ripping and tearing.
So, you know, to bring it all full circle, I don't even know what we're talking about, really. But doing crying, you know, it's normal.
It's okay, you know, and okay, so there's two things that I struggled with growing up with that was hard for me. Like first was the hair. Like I was like, dude, I'm so insecure about my hair. I had an Italian friend growing up that was, you know, olive skin, silky smooth, no hair, got all the ladies, and I was like this white, pasty, hairy person, and like it was hard.
Hairy or hairless?
Hairy,
You're a hairy motherfucker.
yeah, hairy, and so like it took me a while to like.
So he was like Han Solo. You were like Chewbacca.
Yes. and bro, like I had to out of that mentality because, you know, then I finally came to it and I was like, you know, men have hair and I'm a man, you know, and now I'm proud of my hair. I don't like the word pride too much or proud, but you know, my hair brings strength and also.
Are you talking about chest hair, stomach hair, or hair on top of your head?
Arm
and
hair,
face?
arm hair, leg hair.
Arthur's the hairiest man I ever met. Hands down.
Hair everywhere.
He's very hairy.
And the other thing was like when I would start talking about something that meant a lot to me, I'd get like emotional and stuff.
You've always been that way since I met you.
Yeah. And for the longest time, like it made me feel awkward. I'm like, shit, I can't talk about something that I feel deeply about because then I'm going to start looking like a bitch in front of all these people.
You remind me of that girl that was taking like testosterone in the movie Dodgeball. What was her name? Beatrice or some shit like that? God damn it.
I remind you of Beatrice. Great.
Jesus, Craig.
Thank you. I hope
It's emotional and hairy.
I hope that it ended well for her. I don't remember her storyline.
I don't remember that one either, but you know, look, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit having active tear ducts and hair.
Chronic tear duct disorder.
Loose tear ducts.
Oh, is that what it
loose
was?
tear duct syndrome.
They're whores.
You know, it's okay to do crying from time to time.
Do the crying.
I'll tell you this, man. I cried like a little bitch when Jeff Gordon announced his retirement. You know, and that's borderline homoerotic. Craig,
Dude, I cry all the time for things that I should not cry about.
What's like the thing that like, okay, I definitely shouldn't have cried about
all right,
that.
run the board. I'm gonna take a leak.
Okay.
You guys run it. I'll be right
Okay.
back, y'all.
Something that sitting down watching movies with my wife that or something that I'm totally not involved in, engaged in, and she likes these like period like movies and series. You know what I'm talking about? Period, like they come from a period of time.
Yeah. So it's like 1800s or
Yeah, the majority of them come from like you know, Queen Elizabeth or Queen, you know, all the stuff from old like lineage of the kings and queens, stuff of like England, Scotland, you know, all those things. And then next thing you know, I find myself tearing up watching something that I'm not even engaged in because I just catch a glimpse and someone's dying and someone else is crying. I am like what I call a contagious crier.
So if somebody else is crying,
someone else is getting emotional and
Yeah.
crying in front of me, dude, I will weep harder than them. I don't know why.
it's like the whole like I'm not crying, you're crying thing. Like, hey, stop crying, you're making me cry sort of thing.
If it's
You know?
anyone starts crying, and then if you hear, you know, I know we name drop Eric on this episode and things like that.
Oh, you hit one for Craig too. Man.
Name drop Eric, but like, yeah, Tony and all those, like my lifelong friends back in New Orleans, bro. I am guilty as hell for being the one that shows up to the bar while they're already hanging out, and they're already, you know, completely annihilated because they, you know, they drink hard like me. I know Tony and people don't, but I know Eric does. I'm not incriminating him or anything, but I'll go hang out with those people, and I show up. And I come in intoxicated, and next thing you know, we're 5 minutes of hanging out, and I haven't seen this person forever. This happened last time we hung out, by the way. I show up to New Orleans. I haven't seen him in a while, and I go to the bar. We're hanging out. Next thing you know, 5 minutes of hanging out, I'm crying at this bar, at the bar stool, at the bar. He's sitting next to me, and I remember him saying, "Craig, don't you do this. Don't you do this, motherfucker. Don't do it. Because if you do it, I'm going to do it." So he's just like me.
He's a genuine man.
He's a contagious crier like me. Like we feed off.
Contagious
Next thing you
criers.
know, we're at this bar where he knows everybody. I think he actually used to be an employee at. I'm balling. He's balling. No reason behind the balling. We're just crying.
You're just happy to see each other.
I wasn't even happy. Just get emotional. Like, and sometimes it could be the alcohol. It could be someone else's emotion. It could be something on TV. It could be an advertisement. Dude, I just have loose tear ducts. It's a chronic syndrome.
Nothing wrong with it, man. There's nothing wrong with it. To express, to wear your heart on your sleeve, I think is a big statement. You know, especially amongst us men. You know, manly men, hairy men, muscular men. Doesn't matter what kind of man. If you wear your heart on your sleeve, it's attractive to a lot of women. You know, or just people in general. It doesn't even much matter who you're trying to be.
Just be
peacock
genuine.
To. Just being genuine and being yourself. You know, show your emotions. It's okay. You know, it's okay. I'll probably end up doing crying on this podcast one day.
You know, and I've never full out but my eyes have definitely started to get full. And on that note, I do have some would you rather's.
Oh yeah, man, this is a juicy one. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah,
boys.
so I'm okay.
Oh,
So here's one. Would you rather go into the past, and Craig, would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors, or go into the future and meet your great grandchildren?
Future, because I'll never see them. Even though I probably didn't see my ancestors, but I kind of have an idea about what happened there, especially with now these days with, 23andMe and everything you can do as far as research and everything. So you have an idea about that. You have no clue about the future.
That's true.
Especially my seed or my offspring that I bring in, and they have children. So, especially with my age, if I have children and they have children, I'll probably never live to see like my great grandkids or grandkids in general probably go to college and things. Because I'll probably be going in my 70s or 80s. Let's be real. I already had a heart attack when I was 25. I'm thinking I'm going in my 80s. So
I mean, even that's like a nice living.
this is still a good life.
You know,
I would rather
that's more than
see,
the
I would
average
rather
lifespan.
see the future play out for my relatives. And
Yeah,
see
I
how things-
agree.
Especially with how fucked up the world is now in these days, bro.
Yeah, well, how's
the
it-
world
how's it
was
gonna turn
good
out?
back then. Us as human beings have fucked it up. Granted, technology and everything has gotten better, but I always reflect on things, and I tell this to my wife or anyone that knows me. It's like, I think I would have been great growing up in the past. I feel like my soul is better suited with the day of the old than the future.
Everybody's is, bro, because as we become more intertwined in technology, we get further and further away from where humans came from, and that was nomadic. That was from the earth. That was from your small cult of people that you know them. And nowadays, like, you have that disconnect of the screen. You don't actually know these people. You're not like getting the nutrients that you used to, because everything is all these growth hormone genes and stuff, and everything is not pure like it used to be. So I almost feel like everybody would like, in a sense, craves that, because we're on human path. We're not on natural path at this point.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you this, man. I would rather go back in time. Because the future, it's just so unpredictable. I mean, look, it's not looking good. Who's kidding who? I think going back to the would you rather, I would rather see some of my old school ancestry, the Polacks that I come from, and just dig deep and see some of that. I'd like to go see where all that originated and how I ended up being this not well individual that I am.
Yeah, where your alcoholism stem from?
Oh yeah, we got a long line of alcoholism.
I know where mine
in this
came from.
bloodline. We know that in this family. It's not really funny, but it kind of is. But yeah, I'd like to see the ancestry, I think. Yeah. If I had to take the would you rather.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome to see the future, but at the same time, it would be really cool to like see my great grandfather and like sit down with him and
absolutely
and just see exactly how similar. But I'm going future on that. I'm not 100% sure if I will have children. Like, I feel like the world is kind of overpopulated as it is, and part of me feels that that's something I can do to contribute to the well-being of humanity in the future is, check the population a little bit. And so that's kind of like one of those things, it's just interesting.
Yeah, it is. Past, future, present. I just like kind of being in the present, I think. Shit's so crazy right now, dude. And it's been crazy, really. We just have so much technology at our fingertips now, and when shit happens around the world, we know about it within seconds. And I feel like that's been one of the downfalls to the integrity of society, is having this instant gratification to information and to social interactions. I don't know. I just don't see it going well.
It's the downfall of the kids of the future, for sure. We're already seeing it come into play, right? The lack of socialness, the depression rates, suicide's
rates. Way up right now this year.
And we're minusing. We're not talking about COVID. We're just talking about the impact of social media and everything technology based that the kids are being raised on now these days, right?
Yeah.
Me and my wife are huge components of tracked and limited screen time. I see so many parents now these days, if you want to call it parenting, and I'm not knocking anyone's parenting style, but get better.
A screen ain't gonna
I want
raise
you to
your
get
child.
better. I want you to get better as people that go entertain your kids outdoors, do activities with them, arts and crafts, a learning, sit down, whatever you have to do. Whatever you do, though, don't just put a tablet or something in front of their face to buy you some time to do whatever the fuck
to look
you
at
want
your
to do.
screen.
Your kids are more important than what you want to do. And I'm staring at the camera about this because I'm serious. Something I'm passionate about. I see so many parents fail at parenting because they just don't want to deal. But trust me, you will be dealing later in your life with fucked up kids if you decide not to deal now. Just deal with it now. They're easier when they're kids than they're teenagers or fucked up adults. Take time with your kids, coddle them, love them, spend the time, learn with them, read books, the things of the old. The old is what's true and tried. The future of what we've got into is the iBooks or the iPads and all this other shit has fucked up our future as human beings. Get back to the old, people.
I agree with that 100%, Craig. I'll tell you this, man. One of the things I was fortunate to do growing up, and I don't plan on having kids, and I'm not going to sit here and tell people how to parent. But I'm going to tell you this. One of the most effective things that have stuck with me throughout my life is my mother and father always made sure that we sat down to dinner every night at the table. It wasn't watching it in front of a TV, hence the screens thing, right? That's where it started, when people started doing TV in front of screens and doing their own thing. We sat down and enjoyed a meal as a family at the table every night and talked about our days. What happened today? What'd you do? How was school? That is something we've gotten away from.
Even just that one interaction.
It's huge.
But like, even if you just implement that one thing, it's going to make a healthy difference.
I think so. Because now you look at, I don't know how it looks now. People probably do. They make a plate. They go sit down and watch Netflix. Kids are on their phones at the dinner table. They're not having that interaction. We've gotten away from that human interaction.
There's a complete disconnect.
Complete.
With families, everybody, even friends. When we were meeting in 2008, right? So that was kind of on the verge of the MySpace Facebook transition, right? Yeah, we still had like MySpace pages and things like that, but Facebook wasn't that huge yet.
It wasn't what it was now.
So we were still into the interaction of human beings and getting out and meeting people at bars or, get-togethers and things like that. I feel kids now these days, that's why all the clubs and everything are closing down, even though I'm not a huge advocate of going to the club and dancing and spending money and being ridiculous. But all the clubs, all these things are closing down. Kids don't even go out and socialize anymore. They literally stay in their house doing Twitch or whatever, or doing all these different things and trying to get paid sponsored or money from people, watching them do what other people are looking at saying, look at this fucking idiot. I don't care that you're a video gamer and you're good at a video game. Do you think I care about that? Arthur, you might, because you're a nerd. But and I love you, but you're into kind of stuff like that. I don't want to watch someone play a video game. I want to play the video game.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't want to watch somebody do something. I want to do it myself.
I agree.
It's absolutely asinine and ridiculous what society is boiled down to. It's a bunch of freaking, and I'm not trying to go so far off this conversation right now, but it's so disappointing where we have come to as a society. More importantly, youth. The youth is troubled, and it's up to our generation and future generations as foreseeable, parents and things to put an end to it. We have to get better.
I completely agree. I find it very difficult at this point, being that in this generation we have now with tablets, smartphones, smart fridges, smart everything, right? Technology is constantly in our face and we can't get away from it. And kids growing up now, that's just what they're programmed to. I mean, I was a 90s kid, right? I grew up with a Super Nintendo, an N64. That was the coolest thing in the world. But
that was the only technology we had. Other than
that's what we had.
Playing in the dirt, outside.
I still valued playing in the dirt more.
Yeah.
I loved being outdoors and riding my bike and getting knocked down and scraping your knees, being a kid.
Riding your bike, hitting a sweet jump.
If we went into the house to go play N64, like Worms Armageddon or GoldenEye or Mario Kart, or going even before, like talking about Duck Hunt,
it was
or Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, any of that stuff. We did that shit after we already played 3 to 4 rounds of hide and go seek, capture the flag, relay races, whatever. Like, it was the aftermath. It wasn't the go-to.
But then you still got 4 people in the same room interacting together with something. But nowadays, it's everyone's gaming on their own console in their own room. Like even gaming was different back then. It was more of a bond. Like when Halo first came out, bro, we used to have fucking 20 people in the crib, 16 people playing, 4 TVs, 4 Xboxes. It's all set up. The competition's heavy.
The energy was in the room.
And dude, that was fun. Yeah. That was way more fun than playing Halo Online against whoever is playing on the world.
Smash Brothers tournaments.
Yeah.
Were epic.
Yeah, those are fun, bro. See, that's when
some
gaming
of the
is really,
best
really fun.
times of my life. We're talking about meeting 2008 and beer pong tournaments and everything. Fast forward another year or two, and when we all start really banging on some Smash Brothers, Nintendo GameCube, then it transferred over to like the Wii and everything. Like hours upon hours, getting handles of liquor, whatever we wanted, ordering pizzas, and just going after it all day.
Talking mad shit.
Talking mad shit.
Yeah.
Arthur would normally come out number 1. I'd come out number 2. Because I come out number 2 because I'm the shit.
Yeah. I didn't get down a lot of those tournaments with you guys. You guys were definitely more into the gaming than I was, because my gaming is very specific. I love NASCAR, a little bit of Madden. I've gotten down Madden with both of you guys, but for me, it's sports games driven.
Now it is for me too.
I love racing, and that's where I put my energy with gaming.
Hell yeah!
I know you got Cyberpunk coming out.
Woo!
And
don't even get me started, bro.
I tried to look into it a little bit so I can understand what Cyberpunk.
So excited.
It looks pretty epic.
So just quick little blip. Mike Pondsmith is involved in the game, and he created the board game Cyberpunk 2020, and it's very detailed. It's an RPG, so a role playing game. And it's just meant to immerse yourself in this fictional world.
It looks a little bit futuristic.
Well, it's a dystopian world where corporates run everything. And,
okay.
And it's honestly a branch of humanity that kind of could happen, but there's this whole thing where there's this war in South America. America had this huge war, and this is all fictional, where there was so many injuries and limb injuries that they started doing the augmentation and cyber limbs and stuff. And so there's it follows our same history into the Cold War, and then it switches into something that it's the storyline. It's like reading a good book. It's a way to remove yourself from your normal day-to-day whatever and experience a different realm.
Well, that's what made a lot of video games great. You look at, Halo obviously had a great storyline, unique originality. Grand Theft Auto became a little bit, I wouldn't say redundant because it has its own kind of thing, but it's a storyline that you're playing. You feel like you're living this fictitious life, and you're living vicariously through shit that you can do in these video games. It's unreal. I like it. I don't put as much time into it as I maybe once would have. I like competitive games.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like to compete against other people.
Yeah. And Craig's always whipped my ass, and anytime I've ever played in FIFA or Madden, I don't particularly hold up well in those scenarios. But I'll tell you this, I will beat you in any racing game, guaranteed.
Not a foot race.
No, I would lose that
With
foot
his
race.
cowboy boots, that looks funny to me. So the other would you rather I had was, would you rather text somebody or would you rather call somebody? And I guess it depends.
That's an easy one.
Now these days, that's a hard answer for me, to be honest, because the kind of job that we have and the kind of work I had previously before this job always had to have phone conversation. Right?
Yeah.
You're always talking to somebody on the phone or working in a call center or cold calling somebody.
Yeah.
Or having to get through 20 to 25 phone calls before you can sell a car. I've done every kind of sales job, right? So I honestly hate talking on the phone. When people call me, I don't like necessarily picking up.
Personal life, not business related. And it depends
I'm answering
on
the question.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm jumping.
Because of that, now I've become way more text leaning on that. I prefer just a quick text, say my point, few words, on to the next. I'll check the text when you text me back.
Yeah.
I don't really like talking on the phone, even when my wife calls me or my mom calls me.
I know you call me. I tried to call you earlier, and he didn't pick up the phone, and then I sent him a quick text. He said, "Okay." Like you couldn't answer.
I have my phone on silent.
Oh, okay.
I have my phone on silent the majority of the day because I get so many calls.
Yeah.
That are not related to anything that I'm trying to do. Where I'm just like, there's no reason to hear that ringer.
True.
I would agree. Most of them, 78% of the time, my phone is on Do Not Disturb because I don't like to hear the ring. I don't like to hear text notifications. I will get them when I choose to look at my phone, right? Which is still pretty periodically. I try to keep tabs on it, especially if I'm expecting a call or something. But to answer the would you rather, I am going to go phone call over text. I don't like texting for one main reason, and that is the context. Because
you can't tell.
If it's something simple like, hey man, can you grab a 6-pack? I'll be there in 5. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like text messages that are more than 2 sentences, 3 tops. Tops. I'm not reading paragraphs, Craig. I'm not doing it. Look, if I have something important to say, or someone has something important to say, let's do it over the phone. We're not trying to solve world hunger over a text. Or get through an emotional crisis or something that needs to be talked about. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do texting.
Yeah.
Now I'm really into GIFs.
Oh, I like GIFs. I've been in that for a minute.
I'm really into GIFs.
Oh, instead of a text, you send a GIF?
Oh, yeah.
That expresses a little bit more emotion.
Because it's silly.
Dude, that one day when you and I went back and forth
we had
for
a
3
GIF
fucking hours.
war.
Oh, I've done it.
We had a GIF
So
war over
fun.
our work instant message software.
It was hilarious.
For probably about an hour.
Dude, we ragged on each other hard, bro.
And it was
GIFs are
all
fun.
through GIFs.
They're fun, man. They are fun. They can tell a story.
They really can. I feel like I definitely got the upper hand on that. But towards the end,
once or twice.
Towards the end, he started kind of winning. But I would say the majority, if you added them up, I probably had 7 wins to his 5 wins.
Well, that's his opinion. I would just say it was a good bout.
If we're going to modify the would you rather, if it was would you rather do GIFs or calls, I'll go GIFs. because GIFs gives you an opportunity now to
fucking
animate
funny. It's
what
fucking funny.
what you're thinking. I do
GIFs
it all
are
the
funny.
time. I do it with my girlfriend a lot in the morning, my favorite one to send her is the Ted, the teddy bear from the movie Ted. He's doing the little blow kiss. I know that's a little bit gay, but I send that to her.
I do the corgi when it zooms way in and it just does one.
Oh, does the wink?
Yeah.
I think Dagger did one. Eric had a good one of Dagger doing
Yeah.
that. Shout out Dagger the Red. But majority of the time I'm taking phone calls. I like to be old school. I like talking to people. If I'm going to make a decision or we're going to agree on something, let's do it voice to voice,
Or ass to
I'm with
ass.
that too.
I don't know about ass to ass, Craig. I think that's a little rambunctious.
But if you're like me and you're walking by Kevin in a narrow space, You walk with your back to people. Like if you're a man and you don't have much space to get by, like you don't walk with your front next to them, because then you're like risking a groin touch.
Because
like,
the
you
head
turn
of a penis is way too sensitive.
Yeah, well, so you turn around, you give them the cheeks.
That's very awkward if you go front to front passing by and his penis rubs the tip of your penis and you both feel it.
That's a moment.
That's a connection.
Yeah.
That could be life-changing.
It could be.
Homoerotic behavior is very possible. Okay.
Yeah. Suddenly gay. All of a sudden.
And you know, I don't know if I said this on air or off air. I said no homo before. I'm going to say yes homo. Or whatever homo you want.
I'll like give you a long hug. Yes, homo. I love you.
I know everything's, fighting for the rights now these days with women's rights, homosexual rights, whatever. I think all three of us have been open multiple times about the situation. Like, I respect everyone's backgrounds.
Oh yeah, we're pro
gender,
whatever you want to be. Yeah,
whatever. I'm pro whatever.
100%.
Yeah.
Pro abortion, whatever. Whatever you want to do with your life, label yourself as who you like. I don't care what anyone's doing in their own personal life.
Yeah, like
just live your life.
There is gold at the end of the rainbow because you chased somebody, as in yourself. You chased a self that you wanted to be that's going to make you happy, and that's the gold.
Absolutely. And here's what I believe in, guys. And I've talked about this a lot on this podcast, obviously. I believe in liberty and freedom. Give me liberty or give me death. And with that, if you're going to take that position of complete freedom, which I believe in 100% freedom within reason. I'm not saying, anarchy. With great freedom comes great responsibility. But I believe if you can love whoever you want to love, if you want to own a gun, you want to start a business, you want to speak your mind, whatever you want to do, I believe in that. And that's what I love about this country.
America's great because of that.
100%. And that's where I'm at, man. I stand behind liberty,
So what's the word of the week?
We have a word of the week submission, guys. You need to take a little leak there already?
I do need to take a
Go.
leak. No, but okay, you guys banter really quick.
All right, we'll do the word of the week when you get back.
Okay.
You're over here pinching the tip. You need to go.
Dude, I'm shaking my head.
We made an agreement when we went on air. We're at this point after however many episodes we've done that sometimes urination is going to happen. We drink beer on air. This is our time to do it. And I'm surprised you're still holding good, Craig.
I got a very big bladder.
It sounds like it. Okay, I got the word of the week ready for when Arthur gets back. So
Years and years of training.
man, I used to be a lot better at the whole break of the seal thing.
Yeah, that is true though.
There is some truth behind it, but I also noticed that it became a little bit too much to bear, like doing the podcast, without having to take, breaks for the
You
restroom.
gotta relieve yourself.
Because when we were audio only, it was easier to splice the audio together to take breaks, and we could still do that with this, but we like doing a one take all the way through. Keeps it more organic.
It's like we're like freestyling rappers.
Sure. Sure. Actually, I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that we're freestyling on the mic?
Well, Patreon post show hasn't happened yet. So if you guys,
Who knows?
Patreon, be sure to go over to Patreon, by the way, and sign up under Discussion Combustion under Patreon so you can get some bonus content like the freestyles that are going to take place
Lordy.
on the post show.
Don't expect that. I'm not a good rapper by any means.
Craig, come on, man.
The best rapping I've done lately is Christmas gifts.
I knew you were going to have some good ones like that. Bro, who are you kidding? I've heard you freestyle. This ain't, it's a real thing.
Oh, I enjoy it. I think hip hop, rap, trap, whatever you want to call it. There's so many genres of that, music style now these days. They can go so many different ways. It's a great communication throughout the world. There's such great relation with that kind of music. That I think that's why, and I could be speaking incorrectly here, that it's the number one music in the world now. Everywhere you go, YouTube or all these, Spotify charts, the number one song, artists, albums, and everything is always hip hop related now these days. I think it oversees or passed up EDM or electronic music worldwide. It's just the most popular music out there. So yes, do I like to freestyle? 100%.
Oh, we're talking about freestyling?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
so while you were gone, we talked about maybe doing some freestyles in the Patreon post show.
Ooh.
And so obviously
if I do if I get it started, you're gonna get all hyped up.
it's going to happen. We've already decided.
If there's a fat beat, I can't help but jumping on a fat beat. That's just I'm terrible at rapping.
Did you say Jay Nasty?
No, I had it planned.
Damn it. Well, that's Jay Nasty, bro. When Craig hops on the fucking
Jay Nasty?
You don't remember that freestyle?
One of the You ruined it. I had it all planned.
I
was
have
gonna
no
work into
idea
Jay
what you're
Nasty.
talking about.
When were you gonna do it?
Oh, I had it planned already.
Dude, I've been waiting.
I was waiting for the moment because that's what Craig always has those great one-liners. You know, Jay Nasty being one of them.
You're like rapping about something. You're like, and that's Jay Nasty.
Where did Jay come from?
I don't know, bro.
Who the fuck is Jay?
You're Jay
We
Nasty.
don't know who
That's
Jay
an
is.
alias of Craig. We feel like.
We don't know who Jay is, but I'm gonna tell you this, man. I didn't do a lot of freestyling, and now I have a little bit of fun with Arth, and I will fuck around with it. We're gonna fuck around with the Patreon post show, of course. But before we do that, we have to get to the word of the week.
Word of the week.
This has been a juicy DCPC episode, by the way.
I think it's gonna be our longest.
This might be our longest we've ever recorded. So, word of the week comes from, let's see, Benjamin from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
All right, Benjamin, Louisville, Kentucky. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Benjamin.
So is it 100% Louisville or is it Louisville? It's
Louisville.
Louisville, right?
So
Louisville.
in Colorado, they sometimes call it Louisville.
No, it's Louisville. No, but that's a place in Colorado.
That's Colorado.
Yeah.
In Kentucky, I think it's Louisville.
in Louisville.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
But maybe Benjamin can clear us up on that. I don't know. But he had a word for us, guys, and it is
Titillate.
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 Titillate is the word of the week.
Can you use it in a sentence?
These journalists are paid to titillate the public.
So it's like milking. It's like milking something.
I am going to say, not milking, but maybe
Yeah, a synonym. of
misdirect
milking.
them, possibly.
Okay,
So titillate.
that's a good guess.
Titillate is it's an adjective, okay, and it is a sub word of horny. Okay, so titillate in definition is to stimulate or excite someone, especially in a sexual way.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So it's like my,
So
so it's like my voice on this microphone all night.
I had a feeling you would take it there, Craig, and I'm gonna say this sounds like Benjamin is a really probably maybe a promiscuous individual, and thank you, Benjamin, for that submission. And
Yeah.
titillate, it seems like a really fun word.
so it's almost like you have to know that person's fetish
But-
to be able to titillate them.
But it's different than saying like one's horny, right? Like I'm horny, right? To titillate someone is to excite them in a sexual way. So, like Craig was saying, when he walks into a room, he might titillate,
Yeah.
the crowd.
That's right.
But wouldn't it? So in a specific way, I'm thinking like
This baby blue shirt causes titillation.
if you have like eye shirt coordination. So I'm feeling like titillating would go good with like if like something specific, like if someone had a foot fetish or something, and like a woman like took off her sock, or a guy or a girl took off their sock really
yeah,
slow,
a little-
like
Yeah.
that would be titillating.
It would work because it does work as a titillated. So now compound, you have titillated an individual
Yeah.
rather than just
so I could be like, look, you keep doing that, you're gonna titillate me.
I'll tell you this, man. When you guys hear my freestyle in the Patreon post show, that'll titillate the audience.
That's right.
That was a good one, Benjamin. I like.
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Benjamin, out of Louisville, Kentucky. That seems like that's just a fun word, I think.
That is a fun word.
And
it kind of sounds like titties.
It definitely
it does make sense as to why titillate would be to a
Titties is to titillate my penis.
Okay, Craig. Well,
I don't know.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know. Just makes Benjamin. Thank you for that.
yeah, he seems like a nice man, and that's a nice word. And we'll work it into our vocabulary as we do. I don't remember a lot of our words of the weeks because there's so many of them.
Yeah, and they're very specific. Like it's some great submissions, guys. You go to you could send that to the Instagram handle, to our email, discussioncombustion@gmail.com. You guys know where to find us.
Oh yeah, we're everywhere, man. We're all over the board. Send in your words, your would you rather's, words of the week. That's what it's about, man. Interacting with the guests.
It is, and dude, I mean,
listeners.
so while I was peeing, I thought about something.
Okay.
And one of our really good friends, I'm not gonna mention their name right now, but Craig and I both worked with him selling cars, so you know exactly who I'm talking about, Craig.
I don't.
And this man, like, we would go to, we're like kind of doing our thing together, so we'd use the bathroom together, like some schoolgirls. And like I noticed that this man, he would pee and then wash his hands after he peed. No, he would.
What?
No, wait. No, sorry. That was dyslexia.
Normal?
No. So he would wash his hands and then pee. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you
So
washing
he
your
wanted
hands?
to clean hands before he touched his penis.
Yeah, exactly, and that makes sense.
So he literally, because we called him out, I'm like, dude, why the fuck do you wash your hands before you piss and not after? He's like, is that not how everyone does it? Like, he was confused and taken back by my question, or Arthur's question to be exact. And his exact response was like, he cleans hands touching my dick.
That is an interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever really seen that scenario play out. I remember when I was young and I first started getting curious about masturbation. I
Baiting.
I wanted clean baiting, hashtag baiting.
Baiting.
I wanted to clean hands. I will say that. I was a bit of a germaphobe when I was in my younger youth. And I wouldn't do masturbation without clean hands. It just felt weird to me,
Makes sense.
you know.
It makes sense.
But I never thought that with pissing, because like pissing, you're gonna, pissing or shit, and you're gonna do cleaning after.
Yeah.
You're gonna cleanse your hands after you do it.
But what if you're like a real clean peer? Like you don't get anything on your hands when you pee, and so you take a shower in the
but
morning.
that's like saying you're not gonna get any shit in your hands when you wipe your ass.
No, but you take a shower in the
I feel
morning.
you have a better chance of getting shit in your hands by wiping your
Yeah.
ass than shaking the pee off the tip of your penis with your hands.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm saying like it makes sense. I haven't picked that habit up yet, but it makes sense.
Of washing beforehand? No,
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever pick that up.
No, I'm going to be a civil human being
Well, you still wash
and
after.
wash
Maybe
my
you do
hands
both.
after I pee or poop
Yeah.
or do anything that is called for a need to wash your hands.
No, but here's the thing though. Do you wash your hands after masturbation?
Well, yeah.
You do?
No, I love the smell of that on my hands. Seems like kind of
Smells like a little bit like bleach, I think.
yeah,
What-
it kind of
so-
smells
so-
like sweat.
So then you start marking your territory by touching everything afterwards.
Yeah, like when like your wife comes home, she could smell it on your hands, and she's like, "What have you been doing?" I'm like, working.
Oh God. Well,
What's your
That's-
hashtag, Craig?
that's a slippery slope. I'll tell you that, guys.
People are going to watch this episode like these guys are absolute morons. They probably have already come to that conclusion.
It's
before.
amazing that we're even up for awards. Okay.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place.
My hashtag
Gracious tremendousy. What's your hashtag, Craig?
lately, I kind of been on the kick that later means never.
Later means never. So in other words, procrastination means ain't gonna happen.
And I'm a very big procrastinator, but lately I've been working on that. And a lot of my self-help or motivational videos that I watch in the morning on the drive to work have mentioned that multiple times, and I even read them in the comments. And one thing caught my eye one day. It's like, one thing I've come to learn is that later means never. And that really struck a chord with me, because I'm like, that is so true. I can't tell you how many times I said I'll get to that later, and I never get to it because I forget about it, or it loses importance to it.
Yeah.
Just do it now. Everything should just be done now. If you have the means to do something now,
Just get it
just
done.
do it now.
And then you feel better. Like if you keep pushing something
Oh my God, you
off,
feel so much better when you
Yeah.
get shit accomplished.
you feel so much better.
I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, if you can grab that bull by the horns and own it, get it.
Yeah.
Get some.
Yeah, like you keep pushing something off, man. Like it gives you this burden, like where you're just like, you keep thinking about it in the back of your head, like I need to take that trash out. I need to take that trash out.
I'll give you a good story. So a couple weeks ago, me and my wife were going to rent out our house for the first time. This new house that we bought that we've been living in for the last 2.5 years, right? We got some tenants in it, and then we had a snowstorm. Well, we just so happened to have a rooftop deck that obviously it had a snow load on top of it, right? So one day over the weekend and everything, we're like, we should go over there and shovel it and everything, let it be done, so we can clean up everything to stage it to look nice when they move in and take pictures for the house moving forward, because it's just going to be our rental property and our investment property moving forward. We're never going to move back in, right? So we procrastinated and said, let the sun come out and melt the snow away so the snow load is not as heavy.
Yeah.
Well,
And
this
iced up.
is a key of the procrastination, and you hit it right on the head, Arthur. We went back over there. The snow was still there, but because the sun came out and it gets cold every night, you created a sheet of thick, very hard ice.
You need a flat-headed shovel to get through that shit.
that
Stick.
was even worse to shovel by waiting. So that was when I had like this big, And me and her looked at each other. It's like, from now on, doesn't matter our circumstances or how the day flow's going. If we have the idea to do something now, because we can do it now, we do it now.
Yeah.
We don't wait to later. Even if the idea seems brilliant and bright, sun comes out and melts it away, it's not always the best idea. There's always other obstacles that can come forth and make it harder for you.
It's true, man.
It's a good perspective.
And honestly, you just saying that, like, it made me want to just think of something to accomplish right now.
It's easy to fall in that procrastination mindset. It's easy to do. I'll do that later. You know, oh, it's not a top priority right now, but you're right. You start pushing it off. If you just tackle that sucker when it's right in front of you, you know, you're going to let it rip, tater chip.
Just tackle that sucker.
Tackle it.
But believe and achieve, doing it in the present. Make the presence, I mean, you know, it's not about what you've done in the past. It's about what you're doing for me now. It's not about what could happen in the future. It's about what you're doing now. It's about the present.
That's what it is, man. Got to own it.
Speaking of present, it's Christmas time. You ready for some presents?
I'm ready, man. You know, it's been a difficult year for a lot of people, and
I'm gonna drop like $600 on gifts this year, I think. Like,
Really, man. Yeah. I mean, you always talk about me how you're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not sure if that's the smartest idea.
well, it's because I'm living in the now. You know, I'm building toward my future slowly, but I gotta dig myself out of the hole.
Don't procrastinate. Spend that $600 now,
right now, before you even had it. You got a line of credit, right?
Send it. And let's not forget what the real meaning of Christmas is, right? You know, that Christmas joy and that cheer. You know, it's just about appreciating people and being generous and enjoying the people around you. That's really what the Christmas spirit's about. It's not about the price tag on what you give somebody. You know, it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality.
And Dustin had mentioned this on our Thanksgiving. See, like Kevin and I have talked about this, and we are 100% on the same page. We would like to help provide for one family during Christmas, and we want to help provide a meal or maybe a gift or two, and we have other people that want to help as well. And so, you know, just reach out to us in any way. If you feel like you guys could use help, you know, providing a meal, if you could use help providing a gift for somebody, and we want to choose somebody to do that for. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the plan. You know, Christmas is coming quick. You know, we really do want to try to give back this year. And Dustin and Jamie, they really created this idea, and we're going to go through with it. So we are going to select. I mean, there's a lot of you guys that obviously a lot of people could use help. We can't help everybody. You know, we can't do that. But we are going to select one family or individual to help this Christmas season, and we're going to provide you a Christmas meal. So reach out. You know, Instagram is probably the best way to reach us, or any social media platform. Hit us up on discussioncombustion@gmail.com. We are going to help you. And you know, that's what it's about, man. That's the Christmas spirit. Spreading a little bit of joy, you know, and cheer, and trying to help out where we can. And that's what we're going to do with that.
Absolutely. Craig, everybody could tell, like, we love you, man. Like, we're best friends in this circle, and we got mad respect for each other and a lot of love for each other. And, you know, I'm humbled right now to be in this room with you guys and be able to share this with our audience, because, you know, I feel like we got some of the best listeners in the game. And it's just, you know, I feel like this is like therapy for me once a week. I get to come in here, spill my guts, and it's, I just, you know, thank you. You know, thanks, Craig, for coming in here. Kevin, for being a great friend of mine. You know, it's like you don't always get this, man. And so I just want to be thankful for what I got right now.
Got to enjoy the moment we're in, man.
Thank you guys for having me. Third time's the charm. This time on a video platform and et cetera. Had fun like always. Maybe a fourth time down the road.
Definitely.
Oh, hands down.
You know, good luck at Discussion Combustion on these nominations coming up. You know, vote for these guys. You know, best podcast, design and sound, host and duo. Give them their love. They deserve it. You listeners have been fantastic to them. I'm a listener, and also, you know, a guest on their, you know, their podcast. It's just real. You know, talking about Christmas. No, that's the, you know, everything's real. So, you know, love your family, love your friends, love your life. More importantly, you know, go after those dreams. You know, you only get a one shot at it. Why not now? You know, we're talking about a couple minutes ago. It's just, you know, tomorrow could be never. Later could be never. Just live in the now. Make the best of every possibility that you have in front of you and create possibilities, people. I appreciate everyone. Love y'all. Love the two of you. It's been fantastic.
Craig Christopherson, one of my favorite
That's
people,
a great
man.
close.
That's terrific. Thanks for being here, brother. It was great to drink a couple beers there. We're going to have some more fun in the post show, of course. And you guys know the spiel. Discussion Combustion. Find us everywhere. Like, subscribe to us on YouTube. We love you guys more than anything. We're back here next week. We got Alec in the building, owner of the Denver Gun Factory. That's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to having a veteran on the program. We love our vets here. He owns a gun shop, so I'm excited to pick his brain on that, get his opinion on things. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's just we're so fortunate to be able to have these guys come through and have great conversations. And I just want to say I'm humbled that you guys considered us for Colorado's best podcast. It's just amazing. And the support that we see week in and week out with you guys tuning in and enjoying what we do, it's incredible. It's amazing. I love you guys to death, and wouldn't be possible without you.
Yeah, from ours to yours, or however that saying goes, you know, the love is strong. You know, that's all that matters. May the force be with y'all.
It runs deep, my friends. I'm going to tell you this, like I say every week, y'all be good to yourselves. You deserve it. We'll see you next week.